I apologize for the graininess. My webcam kind of sucks. Okay. What's going on, Hookah Pro? This is Hater. This video was asked for by, I believe it was B. Petruzzo. Wanted to know how to pack a Vortex bowl. I am by no means a pro at all. However, this is how I pack my Vortex bowl and get perfect results every single time. Alright, so what I do is, first, obviously, you want to mix up your shisha or your tobacco or whatever you want to call it. Make sure you get the juices all up in there, all mixed around. Now normally, if I'm packing it for myself, I'll pack it from different levels, from the top, in the middle of the container, and the bottom from the container. That way I make sure I get the nicest amount of juices going. Alright, so now that your tobacco is mixed up, what I'll do is I'll take the tobacco and I'll just kind of sprinkle it in to the Vortex all the way around in a circle. So, kind of just sprinkle it around. And what I'll normally do is I'll make sure that I kind of move it around, space it around, make sure it's evenly packed, and I never go above the top of the spire. So, let's see, it looks like I can use a little bit more over here, a little bit over here. Alright, so now that we've got the tobacco in the bowl, I just kind of go around and pack it down very lightly in the center around the holes. Make sure that the holes are not being touched by the tobacco, blocked by the tobacco. Once you have the bowl packed with the tobacco that you're using, you're going to want to put the foil on. So what I do is I take my foil, shiny side facing me, I fold it in half, just like that. Make sure it's straight across. So now I've got a nice even half sheet of aluminum foil. So sometimes I try to be fancy in front of my friends and then I fold it around the edges. You really don't have to do this. It really doesn't make much of a difference. I found that it does make it a little easier to manage as far as stiffness is concerned for the foil. So once you fold all the edges over, you've now got something that kind of looks like something from a Chinese food restaurant, except just flat. So I take my bowl, then I place it, center it on the aluminum foil that I've got. And there's the bowl. I always end up just pressing down or creasing down the edge. So once this is done, here's the whole pattern. With the whole pattern, I usually just try to make it kind of even. In my opinion, for me, it really doesn't make much of a difference if it's even, as long as I've got this ring going, or this ring pattern going. So I start from the outer edge, just with a little push pin. It looks like this, a little push pin. I start poking my holes all the way around the outer edge of the bowl, making sure that they're actually fairly closely spaced together. So I don't know if you can see that. There's your outer ring. Alright, there's the outer ring. So what I do is then I just kind of gently poke and I feel for the spire, so I know where the spire is. The holes don't have to be perfect, trust me, but I make sure that there's a nice ring right in the center of the bowl. And what that's going to do is that's going to give the spire plenty of air. So then what I do is, if you see this blank spot right in here, I just do a real simple ring. I don't make sure it's tight. I just do a simple spaced ring, and it'll look like something like this. Alright, so this is what my ring pattern looks like. Obviously it's not really perfect, however this is my ring pattern that I do for my Vortex bowl, every bowl, and it comes out perfect. Now what I do is I start off with, if I'm outside, I use 3 coals the entire time. I've found that the coolness from the air causes the tobacco to be able to burn a little bit warmer. Doesn't ever get hot, doesn't ever get burnt, and it just comes out perfect. So on the inside, when I'm inside the house, I start off with 3 coals, and then once it starts getting burned, or I shouldn't say burned, but once it starts getting going, I take the 3rd coal off. Then after the 3rd coal is off, I use the wind cover alternating back and forth. This has been Hater from Hookah Pro. Come check out Hookah Pro for all the tips and cool people, and catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching. Sorry it's so grainy.